wonder what it's like to be a college professor? Like from lesson plannings to mentoring, it's definitely a different role that I've been in before. And honestly, I never imagined being in this role. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of being a college professor, my day to life, and anything in between. Okay, I want to give y'all the inside scoop of what college nursing, college professor looks like. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Nurse Tori. If you are back, welcome back. And if you are new to my channel, I am Nurse Tori. I am a labor and delivery nurse. Well, I guess I was a labor and delivery nurse for a couple of years. All my background is basically labor and delivery, women's services. I loved it, and I loved it so much that I became a college professor. And I teach a lot of different things. We're going to get into that in this video, but if you are ever considering being a college professor, or you're considering getting your master's in education and you want to know a little bit more about how the life is, keep watching. All right, so part one, we're going to talk about the pathway to being a college professor, right? And the pathway is not simple. It's not easy. Nothing in nursing is easy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Nothing in nursing is easy, but it's doable, right? So, like I said, I was a RN before, and I was doing labor and delivery bedside. Loved it, right? Got some experience, and then I felt like it was time for me to bump it up a little bit, right? So I got my master's in nursing administration and my business administration, master's in business administration, but I also did my electives to give me a certificate in education. This is what led me to get into education, because honestly, when I was in my program, I signed up for my program thinking, okay, I'm going to do some leadership in the hospital. No, I decided after I graduated that I was going to do teaching. And it was kind of with the help of you guys, the help of my social media, the help of my YouTube channel. Pretty interesting, but we made it through. Just looking at my notes, if you don't know, I look at notes a lot. Sorry y'all. So the transition was honestly easier than I thought. I thought it would be a pretty hard transition going from bedside to education, but I mean, I don't know, y'all, it was just easy. And I guess it's because the social media accounts, like I educate a lot of you guys, and like I talk to some of the student nurses, and I help you guys like with NCLEX and stuff. But I don't know, it's super easy. It's honestly flexible. Like, yeah, we have our classes that we teach, but it's for that little bit of time. And like the way my college does it is like we don't have to make our own PowerPoints. They have our PowerPoints for us. All we have to do is download it, give it to you guys. We overlook it, write our little notes in of what we should like emphasize on, and then go to teach a class. And then most of our assignments are auto graded. So it's just like, I don't want to call it easy because then they may change it, but it's pretty easy. All right, so part two is a typical day in the life of a college professor. So I usually wake up at 5:45 a.m. That is just me, just because traffic where I stay is pretty crazy. So I like to get to work early and leave early. That way I'm not in too much traffic. But typical day for me is getting to work. I'm looking at my emails. I'm looking at my Teams chats, because we do use Teams for like text messaging as far as like between professors if we need it. Once I do that, I look at my calendar and see, okay, this week we're studying, let's just say, musculoskeletal systems, right, in our skills lab. So I will get the PowerPoints, look at the PowerPoints, write my notes for the PowerPoints, print that, because I'm trying to create, this is my first year as teaching, so I try to create my binder with all my notes that I need to emphasize on. And while I'm doing that, so I have two monitors that's great at work. So while I'm doing that on this one, I'm looking at the test bank of questions that they're going to have for their first exam or whatever exam. That way I can know, okay, I need to emphasize this for this in the lecture, so they can understand like, hey, this is possibly going to be on the test. I'm not the teacher to gatekeep and say read your book. I do say read your book as like for prepping of the lecture, but as far as like actually reading the entire chapters, I'm not for that. I don't do that. I didn't even do that when I was in nursing school. Okay, so why would I tell the students to do it? You know what I mean? But that's pretty much it as far as prepping for the lecture. I don't do any clinical rotations just because this is my first semester, so I'm trying to get in tune with like how being a professor is, I guess you can say. So yeah, when guiding my students for simulations and labs, that is something I haven't done yet, so it'll be on the next episode. But as far as preparation wise for simulations and labs, it's all given to me. I really don't have to prep. I really can just walk in and just be like, all right guys, we're gonna do this, this, and this. That's what it seems like, but we're gonna keep touch on that. So put that in your pocket. We're gonna save that for the next video. Grading, like I said, is basically done auto. There's sometimes where I do have to look at their ATI simulations that they do, like virtual simulations, and like make sure that they're charting correctly. But for that grading, it's literally a rubric and like, you know, like, are they doing it, everything? Are they halfway doing everything, or are they not doing it at all? And it's like click, 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 done. So growing up, I don't know why teachers was complaining about grading, but I guess because now we're in such big technology things that, you know, it's easier for us. I don't know. I like it. I'm not complaining. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is a big one. As a teacher, you kind of like, you're not at bedside, you're not doing clinical. So it's like, how are you truly staying in tune with your skills and the information that they have, like evidence-based practices, right? So we do have projects as as college professors, right? I haven't had a project just yet, but according to my dean, we will possibly have projects. But we also do have a lot of CEUs that we have to do. Within those CEUs, they talk about evidence-based practices. They talk about, you can choose ones that are close to your specialty. So that is like kind of our gateway to making sure that we're still in tune with our specialty and our specialty world. So that's pretty cool. And we also get memberships through like certain programs. I believe like AACN, we have a program with them that we like automatically get a membership with them, and some other people too as well. I can't think of it on top of my head because my head is hurting right now, y'all, but bear with me. So every day is different though. Some days I have meetings with my dean, some days I have meetings with other professors to talk about what we want to do for our skills lab or for anything in particular with that subject. So every day is different, but you get a gist of what you expect for that day. So that's pretty cool because, you know, on bedside, like, you never know what you're getting. And that caused me so much anxiety. I don't know about y'all, but that caused me so much anxiety, and I just was not with it. So kind of love being a professor right now. That brings me to the next portion, which is part 3, the best parts of the job. Okay, I know this is crazy to say. It's kind of contradicting. I hate working, y'all. I really do. But as far as being a professor, there's so many, I don't want to say perks, but there's so many like nice little things. We're going to try to go through it, okay? All right, so impacting future nurses is probably one of the best parts of my job. Especially because like I have semester 5 kids, and these kids come for, I don't want to say kids because I have people that are twice my age in there. These people are so energetic, so ready to learn because they're finally in the actual nursing program. So it's nice to see how energetic they are and how excited they are to learn. I love that because it gives me the energy to actually teach and actually make it fun. So yeah, impacting future nurses is probably the best part of my job. And then the flexibility is great. Like, so I started off the semester with working Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, as far as like teaching a class, right? On my Mondays, it was just a skills lab. I didn't have an actual lecture, so I could start my day at like 10:30 a.m. On Tuesdays, I did not have a class. On Wednesdays, it was a full day of class. It's like 8 to 4. It's like 6 hours long, right? And then on Thursdays, 6 hours long as well, too. And then Fridays, we have remote day. Well, I have remote day. So the good thing about the college that I work at is that they offer you remote days. And it's only once a week, but I love it, y'all. I be sleeping in and everything, doing everything I'm not supposed to be doing. But it helps you balance that work-life situation, because like if you have to go to the doctor, if you have to go to the dentist, get an eye exam, do anything with your kids, like that is the day to do it. So of course I could have picked Tuesday or Friday, but now I have a class on Tuesday as well. It's only like for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm really not doing anything much, so I'm not really complaining. I mean, and then yeah, and you know, some teachers, they like to leave. They like to like teach and then leave. My school doesn't really like that. They don't, if you're full-time, they don't really like that. So basically those Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mean Monday through Thursday, I'm basically at the campus like all day. I don't mind it because I am prepping for class, I am talking to students, I do have office hours and tutoring sessions, but I mean, I like it, it's fine. Also, too, the best part of the job, like I go back to the students, is seeing that light bulb moment, seeing them connect what they've seen in real life, connect to what we're talking about in lecture, or even clinicals connecting to real life. That is like what I strive for, because it shows like, oh, you're actually listening to me, you're actually learning something. Wow. So it gives me that type of moment. So yeah, and then just seeing like the opportunities for growth for myself, because like I don't only want to be a college professor, I want to change people's lives. I want to allow, I won't say allow, but I want to give people the opportunity to lessen their load. And by that, I don't mean like studying wise. I don't just mean test wise. I mean like anything in life. Any way that I can help somebody lessen their load, I would love to. So that's just me. That's the best parts of the job. All right, now part 4 is the challenges and reality of I'm over here stuttering, as a college professor, and it's about to get real, y'all. All right, so challenges of being a college professor is keeping the students engaged. So my very first semester of this, my very first teaching day of the semester was interesting. I felt like I wasn't engaging with the students, and then there was moments where they were like laughing with me, and then there's moments where they're like, "Oh, okay," But there was a lot of moments where it's just me talking. And honestly, I didn't like that. I feel like that's a very challenging moment because I strive on feedback. I strive on like, am I doing this right? Y'all get what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be a challenge for me this semester, but we'll see how it goes within a couple weeks. I want to try to get the students more involved with my lectures. And I'm not saying like group work or anything like that because I hate group work when I was a nursing student. But I'm saying more like maybe get like incentives to them. So maybe like if you answer this question right, you get a piece of candy. If you answer this question right, something like that. So that is a challenge. A lot of people think that the pay is horrible between college professor and a bedside nurse, but honestly, I'm getting paid more if I was to do bedside in the state that I am in. So being a college professor is definitely a perk of the pay. It's because it's close to travel nurse pay, if I'm just putting it out there. But at the same time, too, y'all, I don't work with a community college. I think community colleges are the colleges that don't pay that much, but my college is not a community college. Just putting it out there. Let's see. Navigating through different learning styles is a challenge. I won't say that it is it's a challenge because there's so many different ways that you can implement something to kids, and you have to understand how to do that properly in order to stick it in their brains. So that is going to be a challenge for me for this semester because there's so many different ways to show or present information to students. So I just have to find a way that works best for my students each semester and each class, because I don't have all the same students in each classes. So that's a different thing. And then another thing too that I'm struggling with right now is balancing work and my regular life. I have noticed that I go to work, come home, and I'm still working. Me, that is way too much. It's not worth it, especially because I don't get paid enough to do that 24/7 around the clock. So I have to balance life a little bit better and understand that if I'm at home, no work unless it's an emergency, and I have to tell my students that too. But also I have to understand like the stress from work needs to stay at work. At home, like that's a whole nother type of stress. Like we're good over here, you know what I mean? So that's something to keep in mind with when you are transforming, becoming a professor. But overall, this job is very rewarding. It's honestly better than bedside. You're not as busy as you think you would be, which is great because I didn't like to be that busy. The days do go by fast. The semester is blowing by, and it's almost time for graduation already. But I do have advice for you guys if you are trying to become a nursing professor, is to get comfortable with public speaking. Whenever you are taking your master's courses and stuff to become a master in education or in nursing in general, making sure that you're taking your clinical seriously whenever you do your educational clinicals, because we do have clinicals for the education portion of things. During this time, you're probably going to have to teach a class, and you want to make sure that you're okay with teaching in front of other people. You want to make sure that you're getting the right feedback that you want from those sampled lectures or public speaking moments, because that will make you a great professor and that will make you engage better with the students. You want to keep up with your clinical skills. Now, some people are still PRN in their whatever specialty world they're in, and then some people, like I said, they do your CEUs, and that's how you stay up to date with what's your skills. But this will also give you a momentum in giving your kids relation to what you're teaching them to the real world, because you can actually have real life side bedside examples. But y'all, just be patient and be approachable. You do not want to come off as the teacher that got something stuck up their butt and nobody wants to talk to you, and students don't even feel comfortable talking to you, so they go straight to your dean. You do not want your kids to go to the dean, y'all. You want them to come straight to you with their problems, with answers, with their questions and answers. That way, you can move up easier in the ladder, to be honest with you. And don't forget to network and mentorship, because that's what matters in nursing school. That's what gets not only the kids, but yourself through nursing school, or whether you're teaching or whether you're learning it. So just keep that in mind. It's really not that bad so far. So I say all that to say, y'all, being a college professor is a very fulfilling career. Okay, you're not gonna lose your skills. You're not less than because you're not at bedside, right? Okay, so just keep that in mind. Keep the pay in mind because that is important. I don't want to say that it's not important, but that is important. And if you're passionate about like actually making an impact into the nurses that are coming into the nursing field, or if you want to see a change in how people are treating the nurses that are the baby nurses, come to education side, okay? Um, but if you have any questions about teaching and nursing or about nursing school, or you want to see something differently, let me know. Drop that in the comments. I am gladly to share. I am basically an open book, besides like location wise, because that's weird. But yeah, I can help you with lesson planning, balancing academic life, with your personal life and everything in between. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down here, guys. I'm gonna try to upload the next video pretty soon. All right, so have a good week.